Hi, Stamping friends. Sherry Parker coming to you on Wednesday evening, January 24th from Mason. Cold, rainy Mason, Ohio. I hope where you are it's nicer. I'm trying to lighten up the mood since we haven't seen the sun in days here. I'm wearing my pool party sweatshirt. That's my favorite Stampin' Up! Color. And the cards we're going to make tonight are using pool party cardstock and ink. So maybe if we wish hard enough, it'll get sunny here. So anyway, I hope you're having a great week. Start of your week. It's been a little bit crazy in my job, so I'm excited to just get away from work and do some stamping and crafting with you tonight. And I hope that you're having a better day too. So anyway, but while we're waiting for a few people to hop on, just a couple quick little things I wanted to mention. That last week, our comment winners, I have a random comment picker. We picked Lisa Hammond and Naomi Morris, so congratulations to them. They received the cards that I made last week. And the same is true for every single week. If you comment, your name is automatically entered into this drawing and you could win the cards I'm making tonight. So what are we making tonight? Well, we are making baby cards. So this weekend I went on a girls trip, and most of my friends are either grandparents or going to be grandparents. And it was a lot of fun just talking and just hearing the stories and everything. And I thought, you know what, I've got a lot of baby showers coming up and I really don't have an arsenal of baby cards. So I thought that's the perfect thing to make tonight. And if you're like me, whether it's grandkids or kids and your circle of friends, it's great to have shower or baby cards on hand so you can just add them to your gift. So anyway, hi Cheryl. Oh, I bet you're in Florida, so it's probably a lot nicer than it is here, so lucky you. Anyway, I did go to Clearwater over the weekend and it was good. So a little chilly, but at least it was sunny. But now we're back to reality, back to dreary Ohio. So let's cheer it up a little bit by making some cute baby cards tonight. I'll turn it over and we'll get started. Okay, awesome. Well, I've been talking about the Celebration catalog, I know, for weeks because, as you know, it's our favorite time of Stampin' Up! Year. For every $50 you spend, you get a free Celebration item, and based on your total, it can go up from there. So tonight, we're going to be using Celebration items, and I thought I would feature a couple of them tonight. We're going to use this Cradled in Love set. It's one of the free ones with $50. We're also going to use this really cute Pool Party crinkled ribbon. And then another we're going to use from page 14 here. So for a $100 order, this is a really cool free item. Not only do you get the stamp set, but also the 3D embossing folder. So it makes a really awesome impression on your cardstock, and I'll show you that tonight. So there's a lot of awesome stuff in here, papers, and we used the tool paper a couple weeks ago, and stamp sets and other embellishments. And then in the back, if you hadn't noticed this, if you join Stampin' Up! During Celebration, in addition to all the other free items that you receive in your kit, they have this wonderful glass mat studio. So it comes with a glass mat that I actually have it here on my desk. But then it has a cleaning cloth and then also a silicone mat. Mine's up here, it's covered, but it holds things like inks. You can even watercolor, put ink in it. It contains everything in a nice little area, and it's non-slip, so it's great. Anyway, so that is all I'm going to say about Celebration. I'll show you the products a little bit closer up. This is the Cradled in Love, and I bought it right away, or I got it right away with my free items. But I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of coloring, really tedious coloring. So I wanted to design a card that maybe be cute without having to do a ton of tedious coloring. So it's just me being lazy, I guess. But anyway, it has a lot of cute little greetings here, as well as some other stamps in that set. And then also, as I mentioned, we're using this Softly Sophisticated 3D folder. It's a really nice one, and I did emboss this piece of white paper. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's a really nice, deep emboss. So this is, again, another Celebration item. And then last, we'll be using the crinkle ribbon pool party. So it matches my sweatshirt, and it also matches the designer series paper we're using tonight. Okay, let me set that stuff aside, and I'll show you the cards we're making. I'm going to make 2 very simple baby cards. And you'll see, I mean, obviously the layout's very similar. And we're just swapping out different pieces and parts from each time we cut. So I'll show you what I mean here in a second. But I went with a pool party. Yes, Sandy, it is my favorite color. So not only for that reason, but I think when you don't know the sex of a baby, it's a good in-between color. So, you know, yellows and greens. And it definitely favors blue, but it's not blue. So I like it because it's kind of neutral and it's a great fun color. So these are the 2 cards we're making tonight. And I'll show you the designer series paper is from the, it's just the Subtles designer series paper, like the prints. So there's, you know, different stripes, polka dots, hearts, and all the different soft Subtles colors. So a lot of really great things you can do with this paper. They're 6x6 sheets, which is a nice size. You can use little strips of it, which I do frequently, or you can even cover an entire card front like we're doing tonight. And as I'm talking too, if you have any interest in ordering, again, no pressure, but if you do have any interest, my website is cut off here, but it's sherrythomas.stampinup.net, and the January host code is right here. I think I also have it in the description in the video tonight, so just make sure I mention that, and we'll get started. So to make this first card, we're going to start with this, and we're going to actually use, I think, polka dots tonight, but it's the same pack of paper. There's stripes, polka dots, and then there's hearts on this side too. And we're going to, first thing, cut out a circle. And yes, you could use this whole sheet and then cut out a white circle and pop it on top there. But why not be resourceful, cut this circle out, and actually use that circle on this other card. So that's what I was going to do tonight. Pretty simple. I'm going to use my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here, and I'll put my paper right here. I didn't mention the dies that I'm using. This is called the Everyday Details die cut set, and it's a really cool one in the Spring Mini, but there's this whole set of rectangles. There's some also edges, and then this whole set of circles. So tonight we'll use the outer circle, and then we're going to also use the inner or the middle circle too. So I'll set that back down. But for this card base, I'm going to use the big one, and I'm going to position it on my card where I'm going to want where I'm going to build the card design. So I'll place it about right there, and then run it through the die cut machine. Whoops. Slip it on the way that I do it. And then we'll run it through here. All right. Still getting the hang of this video stuff. Clearly not my forte, but we're trying. So anyway, so what I did is I just cut that piece out so that I could then use the circle on the other card. So we'll set the circle aside. And I did the same thing on a white quarter sheet of cardstock. So you can see there, I did the same exact thing I just did on that pool party. Pop that out, and I'll save that for the other card as well. So we're just going to go ahead and layer these onto a white card base, and I cut it vertically so it'll open up and down versus side to side, and we'll adhere the pool party. Pick a side. I like polka dots, so I'm going with polka dots, but stripes would be cute too. I like to use the green glue for this. These thinner strips, sometimes if you have a like double-sided tape or a thicker adhesive, it may not go around the edges, so this makes it pretty simple to just adhere. Thank you, Cheryl. You're sweet. You'd say that even if I fell over and tripped on camera, so thank you. All right, so adhere that, and now we will go ahead and adhere this right over top so no one will ever know that we cut that circle out. I think with a bigger shape like this, 3 dimensionals is probably pretty good. All right, so we'll go ahead and pop that one out like that. And we'll go and we'll set it aside and focus on the bassinet. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to color in without having to do real tedious coloring. And both involve embossing. I do like to emboss because I think it adds a really nice texture, but also just a really elegant touch to the cards that you make, or projects for that matter. So I'm going to just take a piece of vellum. I'm going to put a piece of black behind it so you can see it a little better. And I'm going to emboss the cradle using the Versamark ink pad. And then I've got my, I guess it's more like a bassinet, really a cradle. And I'll stamp this on. Oh, before I do that, I meant to do this. Use your embossing buddy. Just real quickly wipe over anything before you emboss. It does help prevent the powder from sticking. Takes that static out. Not sure you can see that real well, but you can see the little reflection or glare, I guess, from the light. But now what we'll do is go ahead and add some powder. I'm using just the white embossing powder. You can use a little spoon or just pour it over, whatever you like to do, or make a mess like I do frequently. And now I think most of you have probably embossed before, so I'm not going to heat up the heat tool, but you'll just, want to use a heat tool, heat it until it's all melted through, and then you'll be ready to color it in. It dries instantly, more or less, or it cools down instantly. So I did already emboss one so that we could skip that step. So here it is, it's embossed. And one of the cool things I think that is fun to do with vellum is you can color from behind. This is one of the things we used to do in the old days before we had the alcohol blends, the blends like these. The markers tended to be a little bit darker, so when you were trying to color inside of the embossed edges, sometimes it would look kind of messy. So the real trick was just to emboss and to color on the back side, and then the opaqueness of the white hides any, like where different colors might be touching and that kind of thing. Tonight we're just using the pool party, so we're not going to have a big, a lot of colors. So I'm going to take the brush tip here of the pool party marker, and this is the back side, like I mentioned, and I'm just going to color. And as I said when I started this video, I really like how detailed and colored in images look, but I find that I'm just maybe in a hurry or I'm lazy or something, but I don't love coloring real tedious images. So this is a really simple way to get around it. It's probably hard to see it here. I'll put it over the white in just a second. You'll be able to see better. I did bring out, and this is one of the things I love about the blends. I brought the Bermuda Bay, the light marker, and I'm going to use the tip end here. And I'm going to do just a few accents. It's just a little bit darker. And I might just go around the crib, maybe a few of those little images, and then the legs. And then when you turn it over, you can kind of see the colors start to pop. So I did, this particular stamp set does not have coordinating die cuts. I know a lot of our stamps do. This does not. I think with it being a celebration stamp set, that's probably why. So I did go ahead and I cut out the crib. So I'll make you watch me cut it out. And now we're ready to assemble our card. I'm going to just put it right here in the middle of that circle, and I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. And surprisingly, this always surprises me, they don't really show through the vellum. So that's always a nice fun fact. So I'm going to put 4 of the minis there, and we will take the backs off here and adhere it to the front of the card. Oops. Just like that. Okay. And then last, we've got 2 other touches to do on this one. We'll do our greeting. And from that same die cut set, like I said, this is a really cool one. The rectangles, the smallest rectangle has this real pretty, just little imprint. So I did go ahead and I cut one out in white. You can see the border there. And I'll stamp it with the Welcome Little One in our Coordinating Pool Party ink. Like that. And we'll adhere it to the front. And what card would be complete without a bow? Not one of mine, that's for sure. You could tie or do a bow. With this crinkle ribbon, though, I think the bows are so pretty. So adhere it either with the green glue if you like, or, you know, the mini glue dots are great too for bows. Sometimes really thick ribbon, you might need a couple. Adhere that, and you're done. So pretty simple. And I tend to like to make several at a time, so you could stock up on that. So we'll set that one aside, and we'll go ahead and we'll make the other one. Same color scheme, nothing too drastically different, except that we're being resourceful and using some of the parts that we already cut out. So I mentioned that we cut our circle for this card out of a piece of quarter sheet of cardstock, and we have our circle that's ready to go. And then also I did an extra little circle layer, and so I cut this. This is that other circle I was mentioning in that die cut set, but this one's really cool. It has actually 2 rows of dots. So when you cut it out, it looks like this. So you have the positive and the negative. So we're going to use the positive piece on this card, but this you could also use use the negative space. And so same card idea, right? And I just used this piece, and I used the negative space, and then I just tied a ribbon and put a crib in the front of that one. So a little bit different use of the pieces, but it just shows you that you don't have to throw your scraps away. You could actually use this for a card, and you're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get this one mounted. The only other thing that I did do is this Softly Sophisticated 3D folder. I ran this piece through the emboss and cut machine, and so I did emboss it. And I waited until after I cut it out so that this circle here would be flat, because if I had done it first, then that would have that texture. But maybe if you wanted the texture, that's how you would get there. So we'll start working on the card. I'm going to use Pool Party as the base this time. We'll glue it on just like we did the last card. And turn it around. Like I said, this embossing folder is really pretty. I like it a lot. It's nice, pronounced pattern there. Next, we will adhere our polka dot over the hole, cover it up. And I'll use a few different dimensionals here. And then similar to that, I will put some on this circle, probably just 2 on this one, since it's a little bit smaller. And then we'll go ahead and layer our card. Okay, so put that over the negative space. No one really can tell. And then layer this one right over top. So to decorate this one for the bassinet, we are using white cardstock, embossing white on white, which I always think is so pretty. Probably can't even see that, but it is embossed there, and it's just white on white. So yes, you could color it, you could use your markers, but I'm going to do something real simple and soft, and I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends brushes with the Pool Party ink pad. And you've probably seen these, but essentially you just tap onto your ink pad, and if you go in a circular motion, you'll start to see the ink transfer onto the paper. And always just work light to dark. You can get darker, but you can't really get lighter. So if you want something real subtle, it's a great way to achieve that look. If you've seen like landscapes where you want a pretty sky, you could use these blending brushes and then just do a really soft pastel sky in the background. So that's a way you could do that. So you can see that the bassinet is starting to pop out once I started using this blending brush over top. So I did go ahead and cut one out, so you don't have to watch me fussy cut. And I did the same technique on this one. So I'll set that aside and we can go ahead and get this card going. So I love how all the papers and the inks and everything coordinate. It makes it really simple to make a card. So I'm just using white and Pool Party tonight because I love Pool Party, and I'm hoping we can swim in pools soon. It gets warm someday here soon. All right, so there's our card front, and I'll just wrap it up. And same type of thing where of course I'm losing pieces. Oh, here we go. This almost looks Pool Party, doesn't it? The glass mat and this light. But I use that same die cut and I embossed the Welcome Little One. So we'll put that on this card. Down at the bottom. And then we'll do this one I'm gonna use a knot. So take this, I love this ribbon. You just stock up on this during celebration because it's only available during celebration. Did a knot there, we'll trim it off. And adhere it with the adhesive of your choice. I'll use a glue dot. Put it at the top there. So pretty simple. Now again, I'm going to a couple baby showers where I don't know the sex of the baby, but I did go ahead and I made these same cards using from that same pack of paper that I showed you, the soft settles. I made a boy and a girl like this. So this is the one where, well, this one is vellum. This one is the white technique. And then use some ribbon from the catalog, the main catalog. And then I'd use the positive negative for the polka dots for these cards right here. So same layout, just change up the colors and you're good to go. So I think that's really everything. Try to be, I appreciate your time and don't want to take up too much of your time, but I appreciate you watching, and I hope you like those techniques. And please comment or share this video, and you might get one of these in the mail just as a thank you for watching. And hope you have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much again, and have a wonderful rest of your week. See ya. Bye.